Welcome back, family. It's February, the month designated to recognize and celebrate the great works and accomplishments of Black people. So on that note, happy Black History Month to you. Now, Black history is too wide and vast, as you know, to be covered in 1 month. However, the month does provide an opportunity to celebrate and recognize the great work of Black people and our achievements from past years and present. An act that might seem very small, but is of great significance because Black people were stripped of their right to be honored and recognized for their work, and in many cases, it was outright stolen from them and credited to someone else. So as little as it is, the month of February allows for the highlight of the outstanding achievements and contributions of Black people. Now, if you're following this channel, it is fair to assume that you have an interest in ending generational poverty and building generational wealth in your family, because that's what we're about. Now, poverty affects many people of various cultures across the globe on different levels. Our conversations, however, is around poverty in America. Similar to other countries, poverty affects people from all races. So this content is applicable to everyone wanting to elevate from generational poverty in America. However, in honor of Black History Month, I'll be making reference to the Black community. First, because the Black race have historically experienced generational poverty in America, given our history. And due to the fact that I'm a Black woman who grew up in generational poverty in the Caribbean America. So I've felt the impact of that experience. So today's topic is your past plus your future equals your why. Now, building generational wealth is exciting and aspirational. In fact, the rewards outweigh the road to get there. Having wealth provides access to many things, an option you don't have when you don't have money. Wealth serves as a form of like a self-issued insurance, against life's unexpected setbacks. It also allows for people to make important investments, such as paying for college, purchasing a home, or starting a small business. Now, similar to addressing anything of importance, ending generational poverty and building generational wealth in your family will come with disruption. Hence, it will come with discomfort. And when things are uncomfortable, we immediately want to get rid of them, right? We will do anything to get rid of pain to begin to feel comfort and pleasure again. Now, whether it be something as small as an alarm clock sounding off in the morning, or as large as a toothache or back pain, whatever the pain, we will rush to have it stopped. Now, the same is true with our habits. They're old, seasoned, and don't want to be bothered. They will find themselves in a constant fight with new habits that are trying to take root. And ending generational poverty comes with disturbing and uprooting deeply rooted strongholds that have held your family captive financially for generations. You will experience changes in the way you think, feel, and behave with money. And to get something different, we have to do something different. Now, that's easier said than done. And that's why you need a why. Something bigger than you that requires more of you and will impact more people than you. Truth is, when we don't have something bigger than ourselves driving us, we settle in our comfort zone, even if it is killing us, like the boiling frog syndrome. If you put a frog in boiling water, he would immediately jump out because the pain is too much. Similar to losing $10,000 in one night at the casino. and ending up broke overnight. But if you don't put too much pressure on at once, we will stay stuck in our old ways of being and doing and still lose the $10,000 without even noticing until it's too late, because we've lost it over time. Just like the frog who sat in the cool water, not realizing the temperature was gradually turning up until he was slowly cooked. Your why is the force that fuels you and keeps you focused on your mission. There will be times when things get tough and you will be pressured, wanting to throw in the towel. And you know pressure does bust pipe. So what are you going to do? Are you going to get cooked slowly or take immediate action to begin doing the work in your family? I found my why between honoring the sacrifice of my ancestors and wanting the best for my future offsprings. I had to reflect on that painstaking question. What if my ancestors didn't think of me and had never fought to be freed from slavery? What would my life have looked like today? I had to ask a difficult question. And you know, it's a question we all must ask ourselves. So I take pride in the fact that I stand on about 8,000 years of great African civilizations, kings and queens that were ruling and leading as intellectuals, scientists, mathematicians, creators, builders, and innovators. Way before people were lied to, captured, and enslaved for centuries in America and other parts of the world. So make no mistake, Black history is rich and runs deep. Hey, if you made it this far, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You know how this works. It's an algorithm thing. Be sure to like, share, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. New videos will drop every other Sunday. And don't forget, leave me a comment or question. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get back to the show. Now, upon entering this country in chains, the major challenge Black people had to champion was slavery. Being stripped of their identity, dignity, and humanity, there were more than enough reasons to give in and give up. But with the courage and leadership of the great Harriet Tubman and other abolitionists, they overcame. After being freed from slavery, another major challenge Black people had to champion was that of civil rights. Free, but still being treated unequally and less than human, having to endure racial discrimination and segregation. But once again, they overcame. This time, with the courage and leadership of the mighty Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other great civil rights activists. Now, the greatest challenge facing Black people today is the issue of economic inequality, which, by the way, was noted as the next issue on Dr. King's agenda after the civil rights movement. Black people having to endure an equal distribution of income and opportunity, and in many cases, having to work twice as hard for half the pay. The question is, will you overcome like our ancestors did? Will you exercise your courage to lead your family out of economic oppression into economic prosperity? A notable part of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech was America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked as insufficient funds. If for no other reason, be inspired to take action by the fact that your enslaved ancestors worked hard physical labor, denied pay, and still overcame. What will the economic situation of your grandchildren and the Black community of the future look like from your efforts? Will the data look the same? Or will the poverty rates decrease and the wealth gap close? As of 2023, data from the US Census reported that 17.9% of Black people in the United States lived in poverty, compared to 7.7% of whites, which was about 2.3 times the rate of non-Hispanic white people. This means that more than 8 million Black Americans were living below the poverty line. Which leads me to my next point, the wealth gap. The wealth gap between Black and white households has been increasing since about 2010. And according to census data again, non-Hispanic white householders had a median household wealth of $187,300 compared with $14,100 for Black householders. That is a difference of $173,200 or 13 times more than Blacks. These statistics only shows that Dr. King's words that were spoken over 6 decades ago, very sadly, are still true today. And I quote, "The Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity." These words highlight the economic disparity between Black Americans and whites and the broader society. If you are a Black person watching right now, my question to you is, what actions will you take to ensure the next 6 decades look very prosperous economically for your family and the Black community as a whole? Ending generational poverty and building generational wealth in your family is no small feat. But it is achievable, as many Black families have demonstrated, and now make up the 1% of the Black community. The issue is we need more Black families achieving that level of success. So to complement the various efforts already in effect to eradicate poverty, my strategy and approach is empowering the one. The who? The one. That one person who wants to pull the bull by the horn and take action to end generational poverty in their family. This was what I had to do. And I had no idea the who, what, when, where, and how, but I knew I had to take action. Now consider your future descendants. How will they be better off because of you? Proverbs 13:21-22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." There's a video that I absolutely love. I used to share it a lot with my students or any audience that I come in contact with. It shows inequality from a practical sense. And I'll leave the link for the video in the description below. And if you watched it before, be sure to watch it again, because I want you to view it from a lens of you being 10 to 30 years into the future and nothing has changed. The data on poverty, the data on the wealth gap, because you didn't take action. Take action today. I didn't know how I was going to contribute to this important work, but I found my way in the words of the great Nelson Mandela, who once said, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. And it's the actions by human beings part that got me. Now, generational poverty is a big elephant, but like any other big elephant, you eat it one bite at a time. The way I envisioned the elephant being eaten is with the one person in each family who know within their heart of hearts that they are called to lead this charge, elevating their family out of generational poverty into generational wealth by empowering them with the knowledge, skills, resources, and community to champion this cause in their family. It's a reciprocal relationship. When your family elevates, the Black community elevates by default, one family at a time. If the one in every family heeded the call, poverty will begin to reduce and the wealth gap will begin to close among the African American community. Now, this is you taking charge in your house, in your family, where you have control. This strategy, coupled with already existing external efforts, has the potential to make significant change in the movement to eradicate poverty and close the wealth gap. So the moral of the story is, economics is the current giant for Blacks to slay. There's so much to learn along this journey, and I can personally tell you, it is a fulfilling and rewarding one. It is impossible to do alone, and your biggest driver will be your why. Draw on the strength of your ancestors, as well as on the hope for your future descendants, and you're guaranteed to be triumphant in the end. Are you the one? If you are, I salute you. And be sure to check out next steps in the description box below. I'll see you in the next one.